Hey everybody, it's Calvin the Go here, and I'm here discussing One Piece. I'm going to be talking about the upcoming bout, which seems like it was something that's going to be destined to happen. Shanks versus Kid versus Shanks, whatever you want to say. I'm really excited for this matchup. I think this is a big opportunity to finally get some more information on how Shanks fight, and this can really show us where Kid is going to stand in the One Piece world if he really can put some hands on Shanks and can really have a great showing against arguably one of the greatest pirates of our time. He did decently well against Big Mom, but of course, we all kind of know how the way that fight went. He didn't really get to straight up beat her. Same with Law. They kind of had to defeat her in a really unconventional way, with a lot of things going their way, with the, nukes and bombs and stuff having to be there. Basically, at the end of the day, just knocked her down. It's kind of hard to say they should have defeated her like what Luffy did, because Luffy legitimately knocked out Kaido when he got hit. So at the end of the day, it's kind of hard for me to quantify that victory as much as a straight up 1v1 against Yonko, or a straight 1v1 against anyone. When you beat someone in such a way where it's like really situational, it's kind of hard for me to give you the same credit. Of course, you still have to give him credit, him and Law. You still have to give them credit for what they did at the end of the day. But it's definitely different from what Luffy did when he genuinely knocked Kaido out. He sent him down as well, yes, but at the end of the day, he also knocked him out too. Like, you know what I'm saying? When Big Mom got hit with his railgun, it seemed like it didn't really do that much damage. I want to see what Kid will do to hurt Kid. I don't think he's gonna get embarrassed. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's not even gonna reach Kid again." Blah blah. He's not even gonna reach Shanks again. Blah blah blah. I think that would be really that'd be really trash for Oda to do if he just makes Kid look like a fool again. A lot of the time we see him, he's sweating, he's getting beat, he was in a jail with Kaido, you know what I'm saying? He had a bad rep with the whole Big Mom situation, even though we know it was a lie. But I think when it comes to Kid, we really wanted to see him show what he's made of. He has a 3 billion berry bounty now. He has to earn it. We saw Law against Blackbeard, and there's a lot of parallels between this whole Law and Blackbeard situation. But the big thing that kind of is stacked against Kid is, as we see with Shanks, he has his whole crew there. He has his crew, and he has allied captains with him, kind of like Whitebeard had back in the day with Marineford. As with Blackbeard, when Blackbeard was attacking Law and his crew, he was there with just a couple members of his crew. It wasn't, I don't think, at least we don't know, we didn't see the whole crew there. If we saw, Shiryu there, Aokiji there, if everyone was there, it would be unfair, because, Law has a relatively small crew and they're not really impressive in their own right anyway. So that's that. Even that was super crazy. And at the end of the day, Law probably lost that, right? Law probably lost after that Kurozu. Maybe he put up a little bit more of a fight, but what Kid is going through is much more difficult than that, because one, I think Shanks is just stronger than Blackbeard straight out, and we already been noted to that Shanks's crew is one of the best of the best. When Brandu was talking about all of the Yonko, he mentioned the crew by name. It's a Beckman, Rue, Yasop, one by one. He mentioned them because these guys are, they're the it guys. They're the star boys. They're in my opinion, they're going to be the best crew in this whole era, besides the Straw Hats at the end of the series. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the Blackbeard Pirates, but I don't know. They're not really impressed. They haven't really impressed me so far. I'm not really impressed with the Blackbeard Pirates so far, but I think Blackbeard is just going to make up for that in spades with his overpowered abilities. But then today, going back to Shanks versus Kid, I hope we get a decent amount. I really do. It's been so long. I feel like as a Shanks fan, I really wanted to see Shanks fight for so long. The one-arm wonder, the, red hair Shanks, God King, whatever you want to call him. He is that guy. The hockey feat he put off against Green Bull. I know people want to say it's promo for film rent, whatever. It happened in the canon manga. I think we might get a glimpse of potentially the peak of Conqueror's hockey. Something we've been trying to want to see for a long time. We've seen people split the sky. We've seen Conqueror's coding, but I think Shanks is gonna do some things that is going to completely change our whole perspective on what a Conqueror's Hockey user can do. I think another person who can potentially do something like that is Garp. Of course, Garp hasn't been confirmed to have Conqueror's Hockey, but it would be insane if Garp was able to fight with Roger and Rocks back in the day with just insanely proficient armament hockey. But if that is the case, that would mean that Garp would be the same thing, where he would show us another level to hockey that we've never seen before. Because if he really was just punching people and it was as simple as a big fist, that'd be kind of wild if just him punching people was enough to that. Like, clearly he has to have some mastery in hockey. Shanks versus Kid. It's hard for me to really like put crew versus crew, because in terms of crew, there is a crew diff. Honestly, Kid is really in trouble, in my opinion. And I think Shanks is a good guy. I don't think he really would kill Kid, but that would be interesting. I don't know. It's just, I don't see something like that happening. Otis had so many different opportunities to kill different characters who are way less prominent than Kid is going to be. I think Kid is someone who's going to be a Yonko at the end of the series. If he has a good showing against Shanks and will lose. That's the thing, though. Like, if it was a more similar situation to the Long Blackbird thing, maybe I could see Kid putting up a little more of a fight. But he has to get through all of his crew and then all that. So it's hard because, in my opinion, I have Lucky Roo over someone like Killer. I have Lucky Roo over everyone. Lucky Roo, possibly even Yasop, over everyone in Kid's crew. And I don't even think those guys would get like dog walked by Kid. I think they would lose to Kid. I think even Ben Beckman. I think Kid should be stronger than him, but for some reason I don't want to say that. You know, it's hard. Like, I rate Ben Beckman pretty high. I rate him, maybe just under the Admirals or like low Admiral level, whatever you want to say when it comes to that. I think he is comparable to someone like Green Bull. I don't know if he would beat him, but I think he is comparable to someone. I think he can bring him to a high diff. So it's hard for me to even, like, for example, Kid versus Fujitora. Do we have Kid over Fujitora right now? In my opinion, I don't. Green Bull, I wasn't really impressed with him, but I still rate Green Bull pretty high. And a lot of people would say, "Oh yeah, he's stronger than Green Bull just because he has the balls to fight Shanks." But maybe it's just a Conqueror Spirit thing, because that's the thing. Like, if Akainu doesn't have Conqueror's Hockey, which in my opinion I think he does, but let's say he didn't. Does that mean he's weaker than everyone who has it? No, that doesn't even make sense, because pre-time skip Luffy had Conqueror's Hockey. Of course, we're talking about coding, because that's another thing about this fight. Kid, in my opinion, he has to show Conqueror's coding, because then we can elevate him even higher than we've already started to put him. Because if Oda really wants to make Kid and Shanks and all these guys, Zoro, all these guys really prominent figures, you got to show them Conqueror's coding. Of course, Zoro and some of these guys have already shown it. And of course, Shanks hasn't shown Conqueror's coding, but let's be real, he obviously does if Kaido and Luffy and Zoro and Yamato do. Because let's be real, Shanks is definitely going to be the one who is the pinnacle of hockey in all of One Piece. This may be a hot take, but in my opinion, all time, I think Shanks has the strongest hockey besides Roger. I think Roger and him are relatively close. I think they might have a similar fighting style. I think he might have moves that are similar to Roger. I think he is modern day Roger. Of course, Luffy's going to be the one to find the One Piece and all that stuff, but in my opinion, I think Shanks is going to show us some things that we've never seen before, Conqueror's coding. So I think Kid and Shanks, I think if you really want to give Kid the respect that he deserves, where people will not be able to say anything about him anymore, have them split the sky. I think that's something that has to happen for a Kid no one will be able to say anything. Like, people, I know I'm not really one of those people, but I know people say useless Captain Mid, blah blah blah, they think he's trash, blah blah blah. And I understand that his powers kind of seem underwhelming at times. At the end of the day, we need to understand how he was fighting the whole time in Onigashima. He's one of the strongest people of all time at this point. So if Oda gives him that moment where he splits the sky with Shanks, even if let's say even if he doesn't even get a hand on Shanks, I think just that, showing that he can do that, showing that he has Conqueror's Hockey coding, showing maybe a little bit more hockey, just overall, a little bit more mastery with his devil fruit, I think that would elevate Kid and have everyone thinking, oh yeah, this guy is going to be one of the strongest of all time by the end of the series. Yeah, I think that would be big for Kid. I think a lot of Kid's fans would be excited about that. I don't know what's going to happen with Killer and the rest of the guys, though, because in my opinion, they just can't hang. I know that may sound disrespectful to those guys, but like, let's say it's Ben Beckman versus Killer. Okay, Ben Beckman, this is the guy we all kind of assume is the strongest right-hand man. Maybe the strongest since Rayleigh, right? Rayleigh in his prime kind of guy, right? I'm not saying he's the strongest Rayleigh in prime, but I'm saying he probably is the strongest right-hand man since Rayleigh. But then in the day, like, and then after that, Lucky Roo versus Heat? Bro, that is a low diff. I'm sorry. Like, I know we don't know much about Lucky Roo's power, but we've seen how they prop up his whole crew. And who knows? I don't even think Hidemeyer can potentially beat some of the lower members. So we'll have to see where that goes there. At the end of the day, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Shanks versus Kid. I'm really excited how that's going to go. I'm not sure. I know I didn't really give much like insight into how that's going to happen because we don't know how Shanks fights really at the end of the day. So I'm really excited to see what happens there. I would really appreciate you guys can give me a like, share, subscribe if you're new. Calvin the Go signing out. Have a good day, guys.